What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show, and we're finally at the stretch. 2 games left in this very tumultuous season, cursed season. Even though people still don't want to listen, they still are. They're still caught up on this Redskins thing. Look, y'all, it's over with. Most of y'all have never seen winning. It's over. It's done. Like, if your memories of going to football games and stuff like that is when you were a kid, take that shit and dump it in the trash. Redskins is done. But with that being said, it's time now to jockey for draft position. It's now time to look at things from a standpoint and say, let's see what we got out of these young guys. And at the same time, let's see if we can get the best draft pick possible, the highest draft pick possible. The thing that sucks the most in this upcoming draft is that there are some positions in this draft that is very good, but then we have a lot of positions that aren't very good. The quarterback position in this year's draft is actually very, very bad. To be quite honest, there are some guys that I think should go back to school. But I also think that there are guys who should transfer to other schools. Some of the guys that I think that should go back, I really do think that I think that Dante Moore should go back, but I think he should transfer. I think he should try to transfer to a place like Ohio State, or maybe even he needs to go somewhere where there's quarterback development there, because I think that in his current state he's not going to be quite ready for the NFL. So he's one that I think should go back. Garrett Nussmeier, he is what he is. He's not a great quarterback at all. And Carson Beck, to me, I think he's been a guy that so many people, they did with Carson Beck the same thing they did with Arch Manning. They said he was better than what he actually is, and then when you see him play, he's horrid. He's not great at all. He's not going to be one of those top level NFL quarterbacks that turns out to be great, because in college he's just horrendous. Crazy thing about Carson Beck is that they talk about him so much, but they don't talk about how much he's transferred to all these different schools. So, yeah, he's not great. Daniel Aller, I don't like his game either. He's another one that just seems like he's inflated. He should go. I don't know if he can go back to school, but it's just, at this point now, it's like this quarterback class in this upcoming draft is not great. And because of that, I don't know how much value the pick is going to be, no matter how high it is. There's not a lot of awesome pass rushers. There's a lot of good ones in this joint, but there are not a lot of great ones. There's a couple guys I got my eyes on. But there are things that we're going to have to do this upcoming season. We're going to have to, this final part of the season, we're going to have to really evaluate our young guys, because in all honesty, in this upcoming draft, there are positions in this draft that are very solid that Washington needs help on. And I think that, in all honesty, the question marks I have on a lot of these positions, it just so happened that these positions have a lot of very good players in this upcoming draft. Like, in all honesty, I'll start with running back. I personally am I don't think that Bill, unless Bill comes in next year and has drastically changed his ability to pass block, I don't know if he's really the all-time back, because he does have a fumbling issue. He was out of school. I mean, he was in school, but he wasn't playing football, so he actually missed pretty much an entire calendar year of football prior to coming to the NFL. But even with that being said, I currently right now I don't see it. So for me, I'm a little concerned with that. In this upcoming draft, this draft has a lot of very solid running backs in it, a lot of them. And these guys that are coming out are they're not quite as top heavy as last year's group, but they're very good as well. Like, they're very, very good coming out. So that's going to be a big thing. Another one is linebacker. The green dot guys that are coming in are something special, and I'm going to tell y'all in my draft series about my number one green dot guy. Like, and I think that a lot of people are underrating him, and I don't know why they're doing that, but he's my number one green dot guy. Next is cornerback. There's a guy that I really got my eyes on. I'm hoping he does not return to school, because right now there's talks that he could be going back, but I hope he does not go back, and he's a big time player. I mean, when you think about our cornerback position, Trey Amos did pretty well before he got injured. Mikey Sanders still, we're not certain what he's going to be. Are they going to make him an outside boundary corner, which it seems like he plays better there than he does in the slot? Or will they try to transition him into a safety just to keep him on the field? I don't know. I understand the fear with Mikey because of the fact that his height is not ideal when you talk about going up against guys like CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, guys with a taller stature than himself. But he's an aggressive player. He does not play around with like that. So I actually like him a lot, but we got to find out what's happening there. Our safety position, what is going to happen there? I thought Quan Martin did a fantastic job the year before. I told y'all last year, I was like, oh, he's finally developed. This year, he regressed in just a year. And I wonder how much of that was the factor of him playing a more out of control style because of the fact that who was playing beside him. I think that even though we praise Jeremy Reeves for his play, I think that Jeremy Reeves made Quan insecure or uncomfortable playing beside him in comparison to when Quan was playing beside Jeremy Chin. I think Jeremy Chin, who's also a guy who's very vocal in the secondary, I think Jeremy Chin was a better partner to Quan on the other side of the safety position than it was for Quan and like dealing with Jeremy Reeves and Will Harris. So we definitely got to look at that. Like I said, linebacker is, to me, that is a great spot. I mean, what do you do when Bobby Wagner retires? I mean, you got to think about what's the next line or what's the next step in the transition period. I don't know if Jordan McGee is that guy. I mean, for a guy that's been with us for what is now 2 years, and the fan base talk about him getting on the field, I still haven't seen in his play where he's warranted the successor to Bobby Wagner. I just don't see anything in his game that makes me feel like, oh my God, yeah, this guy is going to take over for Bobby Wagner. I don't see it. And the downside of that is because I don't see it, I don't know if he's really the successor. We might have to find somebody else. The defensive line, we got to really see what we got in our young guys. Eddie Goldman is a proven vet. You know, he's been in the league for a while. I hope he comes back next season. Again, it was nice to see him play for the hometown team. I didn't talk about Eddie because I told you there's a history there, so I don't want to talk anything about him other than, praise the fact that he did play well and stuff like that, and I'm very proud of him. That's something that is good, but I would like to see Eddie Goldman come back. There are things that we still need to see. We're going to have to see if there's anybody that can eventually replace what we lost, not only in Jonathan Allen, but more than likely what we'll probably lose in Daron Payne as well. Daron Payne, contrary to what everybody wants to say, he hasn't played to the standard of when he was the free agent, but he's still more quality than what we got backing up. Again, I told people a long time ago, I didn't like the fact that we got rid of Tim Settle. That was a foolish Ron Rivera move. But he wanted to keep J.D. McKissick instead of Tim Settle. Couldn't understand why he did that. But again, it is what it is. We got to also talk about our receiving core. Beyond Terry, who else is there? Beyond Terry, there is no one else there. Debo, I told y'all from the onset, I didn't like the Debo trade. I wasn't a big fan of the Debo trade. And I also told y'all he's a guy who plays behind the line of scrimmage a lot. And that is something that doesn't benefit us. We may have to sit up there and go get us a wide receiver. My solution is, if you're going to use your first round pick on a wide receiver, we might as well trade for one that's already proven in the league. My vote is for Brian Thomas Jr. matching back up with Jaden Daniels, and I think that will give them the 1-2 punch that they need. Because when you think about it, Terry McLaurin is kind of similar to Malik Neighbors, and you talking about putting Brian Thomas opposite of Terry McLaurin, that would be a very dangerous pairing. The tight end position, we need to get more out of that. I don't care what nobody say. I don't see Ben Sinnott being the guy. And John Bates, like I said again, to me, when you think about Ben Sinnott, we basically took a second round pick and drafted a third string tight end. The same thing applies to John Bates. John Bates is a great blocker, but he's not a guy that's a game changer. I like guys. There's guys in free agency that I think is going to be very good. Some of the tight ends coming out of this draft isn't bad as well. There are some that I actually really do like. But again, this goes back to, at some point we're going to have to really see what these young guys can do. Josh Johnson, it is what it is. I mean, this is Josh Johnson's second stint with us. And Josh Johnson, contrary to what a lot of people believe, I can see Josh Johnson as the next big offensive mind, quarterbacks coach and things like that, because he has learned a lot of systems. The thing about him is that he's learned a lot of the key systems that are actually very prominent in this current NFL. He's learned the Gruden system, and he's also learned the Shanahan system. So with that, he's one that has done a very good job with adapting to these systems. And because of that, I do feel he's the next big quarterback coach and possibly the next offensive coordinator. That's going to be the big thing coming in once he retires and stuff like that. I do think Josh Johnson is the next big guy. And anybody that gets him, convinces him to come onto their staff, they're getting a very good guy that eventually will be a guy that we're going to talk about for years to come in regards to him being a fantastic offensive coordinator. And when it comes down to this game, so I'm going to just go to the game now. I don't think we're winning. Even though Dallas is out of it, they're still playing for pride and things like that. A lot of the players are going to want to prove a point. I don't think that we have the secondary to keep CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens from being dangerous. We've been struggling against the run the whole time. And even though Bobby Wagner put on a hell of a performance last week. I just don't see us beating the Dallas Cowboys. I think that everything that's going on with that team, I think they're disappointed that they started out so bad early on and that it had to wait for so long for them to all of a sudden get their defense back. Quentin Williams, I think, is out of this game. And I think that Washington can attack Dallas, but I think that Washington does lose this game. I don't see us finding any type of way or round to be able to beat the Dallas Cowboys. So with that, on Christmas, I was hoping we would get a gift, but I think we're going to walk away with a lump of coal. Santa's bringing us a lump of coal and a loss to the Dallas Cowboys. I'm fine with it. I've accepted that this season is over with. I've accepted that we are moving on to the next season. I will be back. Jeremiah and I will be back as we go from going around the NFL league to going around the sports world. So with that, check us out as we go around the sports world. I'll be coming back, of course, with my draft, the draft stuff. I'll also be evaluating each team. And at the same time, I'll also be bringing you other stories that need to be talked about. One person in particular, D. Moore, I got to give him credit. I will be responding to your comment with an entire video because I need to talk about that particular topic. So with that, y'all tell me how y'all feel. How do y'all feel about this upcoming game? Is it time to just watch the young guys and see what they can do and see what we need to do in the upcoming draft and in free agency? Y'all tell me what y'all think. Other than that, this has been your man, John Fortune, and it's been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.